Welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. As always, your host Papatello, bringing coverage and news and all that good stuff from above. I hope everyone's having a blessed day, and shout out to you, much love to you. I'm not gonna lie, your boy's pretty beat right now. My throat's kind of hurting me a little bit. I have a sore throat at the moment, so don't mind the low monotone tello for today. A little bit more deep bass in the voice. It's almost like my you-know-what has dropped finally and I hit puberty. Settle down, not that type of video. Editor, you know what to do. Get the honey, the tea, and of course, the Poland Spring. Much love to you. Also, by the way, guys, tonight at 10 o'clock on Hello J Tello on Twitch TV, we're going to be having our first raid with the combat kits with Sky and Lance. I'm looking forward to that. For Nurubar Palace on normal mode, I guess that's the one we're doing. I got my item level above 602. I'm looking good.
He's playing retail too.
To so come check us out there on Twitch, all right? 10 p.m. Eastern. Now, besides that, there is stuff that I want to talk about to you guys with Season of Discovery today. So I was laying down in bed, macking, relaxing, and I was looking on Twitter, and I saw a post from Wowhead talking about a new account-wide rune currency being added to SOD Phase 5 on the PTR. I was very interested. I was like, oh, okay, let's see what this is all about. And then I saw the Sarf tweet as well, talking about Season of Discovery is finally getting some really solid catch-up mechanics for old runes on PTR, and some shared reputation rewards across BattleNet. And I was like, wow. So you mean to tell me, hold on a second, 5 months or 6 months, whatever many months it's been, and we're in Phase 5, about to get to Phase 5, you know, in the next, week or so, they finally added catch-up runes to the game for people's alts or new players getting involved in the video game of Season of Discovery. I started laughing a little bit because, in my opinion, this is not me to be, I'm not trying to hate on it, I'm not shitting on it. I just think it's so many months too late. Am I wrong on that? You know, I think it's better late than ever. Of course, you know, no matter what, even if they just added it, great. But is any of you guys in the comments below, like, just let me know this right now. Are you genuinely interested in leveling your alts on Season of Discovery, or did you just do your main and that's it? You're ready to do BWL, raid log, and get out of there. Let's be real. All right, let's cut the BS. You just want to do BWL and get your loot and dip. Because I get you. I understand you. I don't know if many people care about leveling alts, and I don't know if players who were playing the game at the time who struggled with getting these runes, such as, like, you know, the Dark Rider questline, and we all know how annoying the Dark Rider questline was, not at the time with doing it with groups and friends when you were able to do it like raid parties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just to go
I never even got that one done.
You know, from the Eastern Kingdoms to Kalimdor.
I think my brother did.
The many places I'm obviously showing.
He never reached 60
to get them. It was just a struggle. You know, it was annoying in the first place, even with the groups, right? Because, like, you had to go back and forth. So imagine for the player doing that by himself, just by themselves, solo dolo, going for these Dark Riders, the process of that, coming into Season of Discovery right now and having to get all their runes and all that stuff. It is quite the annoyance. And I saw something on their post here on Wowhead, which leave me thinking about what's actually going to happen if it's a little bit more easier said than done, because they show a bunch of new items here that is supposedly benefiting with the emblem system that they have in place that benefits a lot of runes that are going to be much more easier to access, so to say. But then they say something here which kind of confuses me. It says, for example, druids who have defeated the Dark Rider and earned the King of the Jungle rune will be able to purchase the melee specialist rune on their hunter without completing the entire process over again. So when I think of that, I think of, okay, so it's benefiting the players who have played the game, who have completed something already to the max on their main character, and if they decide to make an alt, it's going to be more easier access to do this via a vendor, correct? So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And it seems like you could purchase these, like, emblems or whatever, so to say, with, I'm assuming, Undermine Reels, from, it looks like, from, you know, what Sarf's post was showing. But once again, it doesn't answer something that is a little alarming. Is that, what if a player never played Season of Discovery at all, and they just are getting involved? I know it sounds crazy, but there are players who are just getting involved, possibly with Season of Discovery Phase 5. Now, I'm saying possibly, because obviously there could be no new players, right? But what if there is new players that are getting involved with, you know, right now? They're leveling up, going through just the organic experience of World of Warcraft, or going through quests.
They put out something cool that people want to go after, right? that could definitely attract people
that they're using to go from point A to point B. What about them? what if they never had a main to complete any of this? You know, they still got to struggle, I believe, because if they don't do Undermine Reels, and let's say if they get the Undermine Reels, because it's saying on the text itself, Druids who have defeated the Dark Rider, or just for example, any class that has defeated the Dark Rider. So is it saying that your main account, your main character, I guess we'll say character, not account, but your main character has to already defeat the Dark Rider to make these other things easier accessed for your character? If that's the case, then new players are totally screwed. If you're a new player coming to Season of Discovery, you might as well not bother, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to easily access a lot of these runes still. But if that's not the case, and they're saying, oh, just new players, if they're leveling up, whatever, get to 60, if they just do some dungeons and get Undermine Reels, they can just purchase their runes via vendor, then that's not a problem at all. The new players, you're okay, 2 thumbs up, no problem, good job, Blizzard. I still think it's a good job from Blizzard at the end of the day to add this system for their core player base that is obviously playing the game nonstop, if they want to level alts and stuff of that nature. But for new players, it's still kind of a very shaky situation, just personally, in my opinion, just from reading how this text is being described right now and how I'm translating it to you guys. I remember also a time where I was even myself, going through like BRD for like the Hammer of the Righteous rune. I remember I made a video on this a long time ago. And I was talking about, man, like, I could just imagine how hard it is for a new player, a new Paladin player, trying to go through this and get this damn rune. It was horrible, right? And obviously, this was before, like, BRD was obviously a little bit more easier to clear. We were challenging ourselves just to get this rune. But, man, I was like, if players are struggling, early on, I'm struggling now. I mean, there has to be a lot of players that are struggling overall to get certain runes, right? So I think overall, I'm just happy that they've decided to add, the system in place. I personally really enjoyed the passive book system that they did, especially within Scarlet Monastery way back then. I thought it was cool how they added like, books and stuff of that nature. I wish they kind of expanded more on that idea of passive books, probably for like other abilities and talents, and maybe even more support for runes that are a little bit more weak on the, whatever end, whether it's damage, healing, threat, etc. And passive books helped benefit those runes. That would have been a cool little system. And then you make people play dungeons or whatever you have to do to get these passive books. Now, that just means spitballing, right? But overall, though, I'm really excited for, the future of Season of Discovery heading in this direction. At least they're adding support. I don't want to go off too much on a rant of, talking about, how to make the game better via passive books and runes, right?
I just feel
That's
like it's like
what I'm here to do is just say, I'm happy about it. Let's move on and go from there. I guess on a final note, which I would have to say for like this video as well, is that I'm really excited to be getting in there. We're getting closer and closer, guys, to phase 5. I'm gonna have a blast. I cannot wait to transfer over to Crusader Strike, because now they confirmed, Tom Ellis confirmed on the Blizzard post, which I'll show you here, that everyone is going to be able to play on both factions on both sides. So the old limitation of PvP Alliance, PvP Horde on the same server, you can have one here is no longer there.
Thank goodness,
and I think
man.
That's great, honestly. I'm really excited for that.
Such a dumb rule that they kept.
Playing with a lot of buddies of mine that I never had the opportunity to play with before, and it's gonna be a great damn time for me for sure. I'm really excited about that. I do wish that they address something, for PvP players who want to transfer to PvE and probably go to Wildgrowth. Maybe they don't like the griefing or tired of that. So I feel for you guys in the comments below if you don't like, the PvP servers. I totally get that, and I vouch for you guys as well. I do think that they should open up all doors and avenues for players if there's like a mass majority vote that players want this, right? But besides,
put everybody together.
Get in there and go in battlegrounds again and PvP with friends and just have a good time and Mac and get some cool new gear and just do my thing in BWL and chill when the guild and friends. And that's really what I'm looking forward to overall within Season of Discovery. But besides that, that is basically it for the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, my throat hurts a little bit, so I can't yell too much, but as always, much love to you. Keep on keeping on, shine on, all that good stuff, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Make sure to take your magnesium citrate If you're
That's
low on
true.
magnesium, you might be vitamin deprived, so to say. I'm not gonna give you mine. Go get your own, sir. Because if you don't get your own, I'm gonna get the baseball bat and I'm gonna do you like they did. What's those two guys from that old movie Casino with Joe Pesci? You're gonna get brought to the desert and put in a ditch. Okay, my throat's hurting. Editor, cut the tape.
I really like this guy's videos. Jelly, hello Jello, hello J Jello on things. Should we finally look at the? Should I look at the Overwatch stuff? The Overwatch stuff is kind of big in my world. Maybe I should check it out real quick. Let's check this out. Let's see the Warcraft 2 and Overwatch, or the Warcraft Overwatch collaboration. I've been saying for years that I want a Reinhardt Arthas skin, and it looks like they gave it to me. So let's check it out. Probably gonna cost me 20-30 bucks.
Payload's ready to move.
Okay. Dope. It's really cool. They made like Frostmourne into like a little bit of a polearm. Interesting choice.
Fall back.
What do we have here?
Get this hunk of junk moving.
A really good looking skin, man.
You can hide, but you cannot escape.
Like this little haunted house video.
We need a healer.
I am happy to serve. I sense that your hardest battle.
That's a weird
is yet
choice.
to come.
A very weird choice.
I still have a few tricks up my sleeve.
Now it's going to get
Okay, new Magni version for him.
Our spirit will triumph. We'll have to force our way through. This is not over.
Why didn't they just give him fucking Frostmourne, dude?
I foresee great things.
Like, I don't get it. Like, just give him Frostmourne. Like, the rest of it looks so good. And then you give him like a fucking polearm. You swap like the coolest thing about the Lich King. What the fuck? Dude. Come on. All right, let's go. Wow. Sophie, stop. Go to bed now. Go to bed, Sophie. Eat another dog's food. Just isn't good. What's his name? All right, let's watch Flat's video.
So we got
on
a
it.
couple things that came out today. First off, we got this World of Warcraft trailer collab with Overwatch, and then also there's a director's take that came out on Clash, Juno, and mid-season patch, which is Tuesday in a couple days from now. So let's see this WoW trailer. Let's go. I can hold.
Payloads ready to move.
So it was the Ryan skin, the one we saw on the teaser. That's pretty cool. Widow?
Fall back.
What do we have here?
Is that Widow with a bow?
This hunk of junk moving.
You can hide, but you cannot escape.
Wait, what? I'm
We need a healer.
Huh?
I am happy to serve. I sense that your hardest battle
Such a weird
Listen,
choice.
I don't play a lot of. I've really not played a ton of WoW before, but I'm sorry, that is the ugliest Zen skin I've ever seen.
is yet to come.
Such a weird
sorry.
choice.
Group up with me. I still have a few tricks up my sleeve.
That's cool. That's a cool Tor skin.
It's going to get interesting.
Not new though. Just that version.
Our spirit will triumph.
Jesus.
Got it. Package secured. I foresee great things for you.
So Torb, Zen, Ryan, and Widow are getting skins, and the Widow one is a bow. You know, I have to say I'm slightly surprised there's no Kiri. Not because I think Kiri deserves one, but just because you know why. That's a cool photo. Speaking of mid-season, let's get a sneak peek.
I don't know, man.
With this director's take, Juno Clash, and a look ahead at mid-season. Oh, so it's from Alec. Hey, all, Alec here.
Oh my god, this is the one I wanted to watch. Ilos's video.
What the hell has happened to Overwatch 2? Let's break it down. Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So this is the question, isn't it? What's going on with Overwatch 2? What the hell has happened to this game? Unfortunately, the game, it would appear, has turned into a giant Skinner box. They're just selling you skins basically, and that's all they're doing. And guess what though? They're actually doing it now without adding any of the additional content around it. They basically give you a trailer, sell you the skins. There's no in-game event or any of that stuff. And I would imagine the reason for that is because that's not actually increasing the sales, i.e. it doesn't really matter. Just drop a skin if people like the heroes or the collaborative IP they're working with, then they buy the skin. The problem is, I think it's a little bit creatively bankrupt on Blizzard's part to rely so heavily on external IPs to try and push sales through their game, because that's only going to work for so long, right? Eventually they're going to run out, and then what do you do then? Anyway, let's take a look at these skins.
Especially if you're not even doing a good job of doing
it. It's a really complicated thing, and it's an overarching issue the game is suffering with, which I think is dictating the entire direction of the game. Let's take a look at this. So this is the trailer for the new Overwatch 2 World of Warcraft crossover event. Now, this is, you know, it's a Blizzard IP, so I'm not completely against this, and I think it's pretty cool. And I kind of wish they'd done more of this in the past. I am going to show you what they have done for Blizzard IPs in the past, because when Blizzard World launched, they actually added skins to the game. And one of them, it is just the recolored one in this pack. Anyway, Widow looks ridiculously good. Let's not, you know, beat around the bush here. This is what Overwatch is known for. It is literally goated. It is the best in the industry with hero designs and all the aesthetics of the heroes, and even with the skins, really. Like, it's absolute top notch. This Zen skin, yeah, I mean, that's quite questionable. There's a lot of other characters I think Zen would have been you know, probably made a bit more sense with, but whatever. This Torb skin, though, is literally in the game already. They've just give him a diamond skin, which I believe, apparently, if you play World of Warcraft, that character doesn't even do that anymore. I don't play WoW, so I can't confirm that. Obviously, you've got Reinhardt as the Lich King, which, again, looks really good as a skin. So, like, yeah, it's like...
Why is nobody going to complain about his sword, dude?
I'm not against this. This is... They've done this with Diablo 4. We will get onto that in the video. But it's like... What are we playing here? What is the game? What is the draw for Overwatch? It's like we've just got new skins for the characters and we're just going to tie it into one of our existing games. That's okay. That's fine, like I said. But it's when we start going out of that and we start looking at like the deranged approach, it would appear Blizzard have got when it comes to things like, you know, Porsche and stuff like that, which generally, oh, well, I say generally, but straight up don't really make much sense. Like what's going on there? It's like the madness of I don't know what the team would be, whether it's like marketing, product design, I don't know. There'll be some corporate team that's pushing all of this stuff. It's like, what are they doing? What the hell is going on? So take a look at this, right? This is the cosmetics trailer for the... well, I love this. So, but basically, this is the trailer for when Blizzard World was added to the game back in 2018. And yeah, there's a bunch of Blizzard World related skins. We've got the Crusader Reinhardt skin. Really cool. A lore related skin. This is what I want Blizzard to do, not rely on external IPs to push their frigging game. They should be building their own in-game world and giving us lore-related stuff in the world, which makes us want to play the game more, but they don't do that because whatever. But that Reinhardt skin was an example of that. But then these two here, right? So, and these as well. And these, like Diablo-inspired ones. You had StarCraft, you had Diablo, you have World of Warcraft. It's just so cool, right? That's really cool. It felt organic and it felt awesome. And it was to celebrate Blizzard World being put into the game. It wasn't to celebrate the expansion of another game. It was just Overwatch celebrating the games that are also made by the company that makes Overwatch. And that's what made it cool and what makes it markedly different from what we're getting now, where it's just like, we're going to use this game as a marketing vehicle to advertise another game, which I'm not totally against because they still own these IPs, so fair enough. But it's a different taste it leaves in the mouth. That's the issue. So look at this tweet here. This is an Overwatch streamer called Boga. I think a high-level player. But basically, look at what he says. Cool skins, but I feel like every update is just more skins, and I just want more silly fun patches to play around with. I mean, yeah, and there's actually a response to this from one of the developers who says, "Girl, our team only makes art, not your precious, silly, funny patches. DM Aaron." So, like, you know, whatever. But that's just tongue-in-cheek, a bit of fun, a bit of a joke. But I think this sentiment makes sense, right? Because it's like, okay, here's another Overwatch update. It's just more skins. It isn't what actual players of the game want, right? But it's what people are buying who maybe on...
Dude. Blizzard to be such fucking idiots. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. I could do it better.
Not playing the game as religiously as people used to do in the past. Instead, it's like, oh, there's an Overwatch update. Yeah, I've got thousands of hours in that game because I've played it for years or whatever. I'm acting as the average player. So then they're like, you know what? Actually, I quite like that IP, whether that's One Punch Man, Transformers, the Seraphim, whatever. You know what? I'm going to drop in and buy that. And then they get a sale. The problem is that's incentivizing just making more of this kind of stuff. It's not actually incentivizing adding cool stuff to the game that, you know, that expands the game and is making the game more fun. It's just, here's a cosmetic, go and buy it. And the problem with that is you end up looking at Blizzard as a whole and you start seeing areas getting scaled back where it's like, we don't need maybe this many members in this team because actually we want to expand this team because they're the ones making the revenue and the money. But it's like, where's the long-term, you know, health or lifespan of such an activity? You can't just build a game on cross-collaborative IP events. Surely you cannot, right? And when I say events, I just mean skins. There's literally, they're not even adding events when they do this anymore. It's just, here's a skin, go and buy it for an extortionate amount of money. It's quite crazy.
Go away.
So on the subject of quite crazy and Phil Spencer continuing to reduce the staff numbers at Activision Blizzard after they essentially said they weren't going to do that to the FTC, but then they're like, whatever, we're just going to do it anyway because that's the way corporate America rolls. But take a look at this, right? So this is a tweet from Sydney King. And they say, it's been an amazing 2 years with Blizzard's SFD. That means Story and Franchise Development team. Unfortunately, I was impacted by another round of layoffs today. If you have open positions in game writing or narrative design, send them my way. Now, this is not specifically Overwatch related, but story and franchise development is a team that works across all the Blizzard games. So obviously, what it says in the title, to try and develop their stories and push them forward. Now you can think, okay, well, Overwatch 2 has literally deleted its PvE. It doesn't really care about any kind of major stories with characters anymore. All it's doing is the little fun interactions with voice lines and a little bit of basic backstory when they launch a hero and a little sort of cinematic trailer that
Overwatch 2 is so
hero.
shit, dude.
The origin stories. That's literally it. That's
It's
the lore
not.
you're getting
It's
with Overwatch.
not. It's so
Yeah, over
not.
time,
It's
there'll be
not
loads of these
good.
interactions between heroes, and it's kind of cool.
Just
to see
not
it and whatever,
good,
and
man.
Overwatch kind of pioneered that approach. But there's no deeper story. So on the one hand, you can say, well, of course, people like this don't really have maybe much use with Overwatch, although Sydney worked with Blizzard, not just Overwatch. But the big issue here is, again, it's more layoffs. I mean, there was 650 people laid off in the recent round of layoffs. And this sort of goes back into that whole narrative of me thinking about Microsoft taking over Blizzard, thinking, you know what, maybe they're going to let them cook. Because I firmly believe there are people in that Overwatch team, you know, the likes of your Aaron Keller. I mean, even I know this for a fact, like Aaron Keller, right? He is a diehard Overwatch guy, right? He was there from the days of Titan. He's diehard old Blizzard. He wants to give you a really good game. But he's in a ridiculously difficult situation where he's got like all of these pressures on him. The game's gone free to play. People are shoving these collaborative events at them. They're shoving these skins at them. You've got to get this out the door. You've got to get that out the door. They're trying to do things, but they're very restrictive because of what the game or the product has become. And that's the issue. You know, you can go around and say this, and I've said it time and time again. I'm going to say it again. Overwatch is like a good game, but a bad product. And they're just really dropping and sort of drilling down on that bad product nature to get as much money out of the game as they possibly can with not much of a long-term prospectus. I think that's the issue I've got. I don't feel like Overwatch is evolving. I feel like it's just the same game. Yeah, there'll be different game modes, which they have added, you know, so I'm not just totally saying they're just adding skins. They add new heroes, but that's all you're getting. You're just going to get a new game mode every now and again, a new hero. You're not getting any further development of the game. It's not pushing any boundaries. That's just what the game's going to be. And guess what? There's going to be collaborative events with loads of expensive skins pretty much every single season, just coming in all of the time, whether it's at the start of the season, mid-season, or the end of the season. They're going to hit you with these skins. And this leans into the whole thing of how big does your team actually have to be if you're going to run a Skinner box as a game? Because Overwatch, now I'm going to say this again, and it's not even a hot take, right? I'm tired of saying this, but I'm going to say it again. It is not even, yeah, I know it's 5v5. I know there's a whole host of balance changes, but fundamentally, it is still Overwatch. I know it was 6v6, and I know there was, you know, different balance changes, different game modes and whatever, but fundamentally, it is the same game, right? There is not major, massive differences to the game. It is still Overwatch 1. So all Overwatch 2 has really done is turn the game free to play and then give them an excuse to shove it full of like really expensive cosmetics and skins, which is all they've really done with the game. And how many people do you need to do that? Because you don't need massive teams to redevelop the game. You're just adding a new hero. You've got a bunch of people working on balance. You've got, you know, your various server engineers, your software engineers, whatever, that are keeping the game running. That's all you really need. And Blizzard also farm out a lot of their work on their skins to a studio in Germany. I forgot the name of them off the top of my head, but there's a studio in Germany they work with. Blizzard still do the concept art and send it to them, but they're basically making the skin. So it's like, well, actually, like if you're Microsoft and you're not going to let Blizzard cook, you're not going to let them go back to the days of make something brilliant, guys, because you know what? Microsoft is literally worth trillions of dollars, and Blizzard is like a footnote in their goddamn bookkeeping. Like it's like an error, a rounding error that they don't even care. You know what I mean? But they do, because they're like, no, this needs to make money. It needs to run as a business. We can't just have a bloated thing that maybe isn't making as much money as it could. But look at this. We've got this thing called Overwatch 2, and we can run this like a little Skinner box, and we don't need many people for that. So I'm going to, fuck it. I'm going to go out on a limb. I reckon Blizzard, over the next, couple of years, we're going to see them scale down on this. It's not going to increase in size. There's not going to be added people to Blizzard, to the Overwatch team, to make the game. It'll just be reduced in size, made streamlined, and it'll just be left as it is. And that is the product that you're going to get.
What are you doing?
There was rumors recently of a new FPS RPG game in development of Blizzard. I think one of the lead producers that worked on Overwatch 2 has gone over to that team in Blizzard. So yeah, maybe there's some other Overwatch game in development. I'd be very surprised if it was Overwatch related, because obviously the disaster with PvE and whatever. But the fact is, Overwatch is a universe with very relatable characters and very unique characters, and the style of the characters is awesome. That really they should have been building on it. And we know they tried to do it with PvE and it just didn't work at all. But there's got to be something they can do with it, right? This game is bigger and better than a freaking Skinner box. That is just, it's depressing. It is literally
You were
depressing.
just in there eating trash. I know that you were.
What's going on here, guys? What the hell? Okay, so talking of collaborations, this is the latest one. I'm not entirely sure what the details are with this, but it's Overwatch 2 Red Tokyo Tower. And this is the key art, which I'm going to throw up here. Now, this is, I think it's the tower in Tokyo, the literal red tower in Tokyo. It's something to do with that. It's some sort of event at the place. I don't think this is an in-game thing, but they've clearly got concepts here for skins. Will these be added to the game? I don't know. But it's like Red Tower Tokyo collaborative event. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at Le Seraphim, because they're back. Look at this. Right. This was added to the game recently. So this is Le Seraphim. They're back. You can buy their skins again. Now, I'm pretty sure that when this dropped in, was it November last year? It was at BlizzCon time last year. This was the most money Overwatch 2 had ever made in that period of time. It shot to the top sellers of Steam. It was just making absolute ridiculous amounts of money, hand over fist. And this probably convinced all of the people working in the product departments to go, holy shit, we just need to do more of this with Overwatch 2, because this is the way forward. We're going to make the game make money. Obviously, that has no impact on the game itself, and it doesn't incentivize developing the game, just incentivizes making more friggin' skins. But anyway, look at this, right? So it's just Le Seraphim coming back. Now, they do say it's to celebrate 100 million views on the video, the music video, Perfect Night. Now, this might have just been in the contract anyway, right? And I'm pretty sure it was, because they put so much effort into these skins. They were always going to come back, which again is another thing, right, guys? You're never going to get skins in this game which are fully unique. They will always come back. There will always be a skin which comes back. They will try and tease you and go, oh, you know what? This skin's going to be limited time only. Done. Oh, yeah, you can only buy it limited time only, which is what these skins were initially thought to be, the Le Seraphim ones. So people go and buy them. Actually, no, they're coming back next year. They're coming back. Don't worry. And there's no difference to these skins as well, right? I believe in some games like Dota 2, they're quite clever, where the initial run of a skin is slightly different to the like the rerun of a skin. So you know if someone's got a rerun compared to your original one. So again, that kind of incentivizes you to buy the original one, right? It's a scummy tactic, whatever. But yeah, this thing with Blizz here, it is Le Seraphim FOMO, which they do with all of their skins. They love fucking FOMO all day. God, best buy this, guys. It's going to go out the store. But hey, guess what? 8 months later, it's back in the store. Booyah! I don't know. I fucking hate it. I just hate that shit. But that's what it is. So let's take a look at these collaborative events that Overwatch has done. It's a lot. Like, you will be shocked how many events they've actually done. The first one we'll start off with is the Overwatch Transformers collaboration. So this was the collaboration where, again, there was no game mode in this. It was just the skins. Go and buy them if you want. I think their excuse was this came out at the time of Summer Games. So it's like, oh no, we've got Summer Games modes that you can play, whatever. Well, basically, this was a bunch of Transformers inspired skins, right? So if you're a fan of Transformers and Overwatch, yeah, you might start paying for these. I guess as well, the other issue with these collaborative events is there's going to be some sort of revenue cut, or Blizzard are paying an amount up front for the usage of these IPs. I mean, it might even be both. It might even be Blizzard pay X million dollars to get the IP, and then they have to spend, give them a percentage of whatever the sales end up being, right? That's probably what goes on. I don't know how these departments work, but yeah. But it was just Transformers skins in the game. Fair enough, right? I like Transformers, and you know, I like Optimus Prime. So I can get it. I can be like, okay, fine. I get why people like these skins. But like I said, and I've said multiple times in this video, guys, this isn't adding anything to the game, is it? It's just literally a friggin' skin. It's like, you can like it as much as you like. The game isn't really evolving. It's just wasted effort in that direction, at least in my opinion. Now, this is one I can agree with, bringing a skin back. This is the Mercy. Pink Mercy returned. And they did do the thing where there was a slightly different version of the newer skin. Or if you had the original Pink Mercy, you could upgrade it to the Rose Gold Mercy, I think they called it. This is fine, right? It's a cancer research. It's charity skin. It's fine. Like, I'm all for this, and they should have done a lot more of this over the years. You know, this is where their efforts should be going with collaborative events, not fucking, let's do One Punch Man. Let's do some shit, like, just to get money. Let's do Le Seraphim or whatever. It's like, come on, guys, what are we doing? You know what I mean? It is depressing. But this was good, and I completely, fully support this. So, you know, top job, Blizzard, on this one. This next one is literal madness to me, right? The best thing about this Porsche collab was looking at the YouTubers who were promoting it. I was like, and the streamers, these guys, like, take the bag. Honestly, just take the bag. If it's there, take the bag. But I mean, oh my days, this was like the most disconnected collab that they've done so far. And it's almost like I can't wait to see what the new collabs are. to see how mental they go. This, to me, it struck me as like some marketing manager dickhead who's sitting there, or a product manager, or whatever the hell these people are that come up with this, has gone, yeah, man, hey, man, I've got a GTRS 911 fucking 6829364. I love my Porsches. God damn, you know what? I reckon we can do a deal with Porsche. Holy shit. Something like that, probably. And then contacted Porsche, or Porsche, however you want to say it, and goes, you know what? Let's do a collaboration. Hey, we're futuristic. You're trying to sell an electric Macan. Let's put that in our game as a skin for Diva, and then people will buy it. What the fuck, Blizzard? You know what I mean? What the fuck, Blizzard? Do you know how much Porsches cost? A 911 is like 100 grand, right? What? I mean, I know a Macan isn't 100 grand, but what Overwatch players are like, ah, yes, I will buy a Porsche. Oh, God. Oh, yes. I don't think the demographics exactly meet. But here's the thing. This was probably just a, hey, Porsche are looking for exposure to a certain age demographic, and Blizzard are like, hey, we've got that age demographic, let's say 20 to 35, 20 to 40, whatever. We've got them playing our game, so let's just expose them to your brand, and they'll love it, and we'll give them a cool skin that they can play with, and they can buy it with money, and then you'll get some money for it, Porsche, if that was the deal. It's just like, what? It was crazy. Like, what? When I first learned of this collaboration, I just was laughing my ass off. I was like, what the hell is this? It's just insanity. Then we had Cowboy Bebop. This was just skins as well. It wasn't any game mode. It's like, hey, here's some skins. Just go and buy them. If you like Cowboy Bebop, it would have the same effect on you that the Transformers one had on me, right? It's like, oh, yeah, I like this. I'm going to get Spike or whatever, right? Yeah, it's just like whatever. Like, this isn't a major update. It isn't really something to be talking about. It's just adding skins into the game. But Blizzard are focusing on this because it is the major update for the game, because that's what the game is, and that's what's driving me crazy. I'm like, come on, Blizzard, what are you doing? Oh. So the next one was Le Seraphim. Now, this, like I said, is probably the biggest one. Now, you've got to remember, right? Again, think of what Blizzard spent on this motherfucker. I'm swearing a lot in this video. I do apologize. But spent on this motherfucker of a collab. It had a fully animated short. This, when I seen it, as soon as it started rolling,
true, dude.
I was like, oh no, it's game over. Oh no. Like, oh no. They are spending money now on trailers to sell skins. They are not using them to show off a new game mode or a new hero or, you know, all of that stuff. And I cannot imagine the Le Seraphim animated trailer generated as much for Blizzard as the goddamn Dragons trailer did, you know, or any of the animated shorts, but especially the bigger viewed ones. Like, what the hell, Blizzard? But as soon as I seen it, I knew it was game over. I knew they're just diverting their funds now to this kind of thing. This is why we're not going to get animated shorts. I know we got one for Sojourn with the invasion stuff, but I don't think we're going to get any more. The next animated short will be whatever happens at the end of this year for their big collab, because it's quite clear what they're doing is having a massive collab where they're putting all the resources into it, and then throughout the year they have these like smaller collabs with, you know, no game mode, just skins, bang, 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 bang. But then there'll be a big massive collab with some sort of IP, which has got a massive animated short, has got a like all of the associated stuff that goes with it. They're paying a shitload of influencers to promote it, and they're just going crazy, right? It's like, what? Like, it's mental. But it is also sad, and I hope you guys can get my point of view, and maybe it's your point of view as well. But it's like, I don't want. I mean, it doesn't matter what I want now, because the game is totally gone from wherever I wanted the game to go.
Brought you so much joy, like
I don't
used
want them
to
spending their time,
pick your pocket,
effort just to market skins from another brand. I want them to work on their own game. I want them to develop Overwatch 2 in a way that is meaningful to us as players, not just, you know, like, I play Overwatch, right? I don't like K-pop.
especially as a kid, man. Imagine.
I didn't even know what Le Seraphim was when it dropped. I was like, what the hell is this? I would prefer something that was in the game, something that was in-game story related. This even extends to things like the seasonal events. You know, I always wished they would always stay in lore, you know, not just going, oh, well, it's Valentine's Day, so we're just going to have one now, or it's Christmas. I know there was always the Winter Veil event, but it's like, yeah, it's Christmas, Winter Wonderland, I should say. It's like, yeah, that's fine. You know, it is Christmas. People do expect that kind of event. But like, Archives was a good example of their own sort of special event, which they just seem to have, like, that just is gone. Like, that's not going to be a thing, I'd imagine. It's sad. Honestly, it friggin' is sad. I don't want to think about it. It's sad. Then next up, I believe we had Diablo 4. So this was for the launch of, well, Diablo 4. There was an in-game event which did have a gameplay mode. I'll give them that. Very bare bones, but it looks like they were using various assets from the cancelled PvE, which was kind of cool to see. But they just added a bunch of Diablo skins, which were massively expensive as well at the time. But obviously this was to promote Diablo 4, and this is what they're doing. You know, if there's a major expansion to Warcraft, expect a Warcraft-themed update to Overwatch. If there's a new Blizzard game that comes out, expect an Overwatch paid promo thing for it. It's like, it's insane, right? But, you know, some of these skins, like I said, the skins themselves are still pretty much top tier for the most part. They're still really good skins, but it's just sad to me that this is all the game seems to have been distilled down into. Yeah. And then we got the first one, which was One Punch Man. This was the first teased crossover event that they've done. It was a big moment, I think, for Blizzard, because no IP had really worked with them beyond, I think, Lego way back in Overwatch 1 did a Bastion skin. And because obviously there was a bunch of Lego kits that had all of the Overwatch characters, or various different characters. I think I've got a Bastion one, and there's like a Reinhardt one and stuff like that. Pretty cool, though. But that's why there was a Lego skin in the game. But that was just earnable in an event. It wasn't like you had to buy the skin. Anyway, One Punch Man is the first sort of like major crossover they've done. And yeah, it was... I remember around this, there was all the talk about Blizzard saying, no, this isn't just putting their characters into our game. Our characters are cosplaying as their characters. And I think what that was, is it was a whole load of communication that was... Again, I'm going out on a limb here, but it was probably forced through by the devs themselves, because they really wanted to push the fact that this isn't them just letting go of their game and going, okay, we now have no ideas for the game, we're just going to take other IPs and slam them into our game. It was them saying, no, we're going to take our characters and adapt them to whatever the IP is. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it in a way that feels right for us, and it's a big step for us, and, you know, blah blah blah. The problem is the floodgates opened at that point, and it was like, no, this is...
Did I play the Uncharted games?
I assume
no, I haven't.
So we're going to do it again.
I think they're on sale right now.
And we're seeing now with these newer collabs, probably the Porsche one is the best example, where it's just devoid of anything. It's literally just slapping a brand in the game. It's like, what's going to be next? A Coke skin? Are we going to have like Coca-Cola Zaria? I don't know why we'd have Coca-Cola Zaria, but we're going to have that. It's like, what? Well, where does this go? Like, where does this end? Like, it's mental. It's clear to me that they've got a mandate of a number of these collaborative events they need to do. And it is... You know, like, I know I'm ranting this video, but whatever, what the F, let's do it. You look at a game like Fortnite, I'm going to go out there and say this, Fortnite is completely and utterly devoid of any kind of, like, character development. I know there's, like, some characters in the game or whatever, but the way the game's designed, it's almost built to have collaborative stuff. Overwatch is, like, completely opposite to that. It's got very strong characters, very strong world, which is totally neglected for the easy cash grab that all the suits have seen happen with Fortnite, and that's what they've gone for. It's shit. It's actually shit, and it's so sad. So where do we go from here? Right? This is a question at the end of my mad rant of a video. Like, what else happened to Overwatch 2? Well, the fact is, the game is still the only hero shooter you can actually play that's got any sort of support behind it, right? That's PvP and 5v5, let's say. Until maybe Marvel Rivals comes out at the end of the year. That could be disruptive to Overwatch. I don't know. But it's like, it's for so long has survived off the strength of its hero designs and its gameplay, which... really, beyond the new heroes that have been added in Overwatch 2, hasn't really changed that much in the grand scheme of things from 2016. Like, I know, whatever, 6v6 is gone, it's 5v5, all that shit, but it's like, it still essentially is the same game, right? The core of the game is basically the same, hasn't really changed, it's just carried on through time. How long can that continue? This is my question. Like, and how will we know when things are maybe going to change, right? Well, I reckon there's a couple of things you can look at. I reckon if we start seeing things like, hey, there's now a creator code in the game. Now, that's a very interesting thing, right? So if that, I mean, this is if this happens, if it don't, whatever. This is a bit wild speculation on my part. But if something like that happens, the only reason that would happen is because Blizzard is not happy with how much money it's making off skin sales, right? So while they're making good sales, making good money, there's no world in which they would share that money with a creator or somebody with a code, right? There's no way, because it's like an affiliate code the way it works, yeah? I'm sure you guys know how creator codes work. But the moment they say, no, we've got this in Overwatch, it's because their skin sales have dropped so low that they're willing to give a portion of the revenue of those sales to external agencies, which would be creators, to try and increase the overall sales. So it's like things like that I look for when I look at Overwatch. I think, what are we going to see that's different? And when I look back at the launch of Overwatch 2, it's like it goes free to play completely. I get that because, you know, you want to get players into the game. they monetize with all the cookie cutter, like just complete crap battle pass systems and all of that, and expensive store, and we're just sort of dealing with that. But then it's like, what's the next step? Well, the next step in that plan is, hey, look, Fortnite have done collaborative content. Let's just do that. So they do that. And then they're like, well, let's take it to another level. Let's do it properly, putting our Blizzard effort behind it. And you get something like the Seraphim. Yeah, it's fine, but it's like using the resources that would be used on the game to just make skins for said game. And it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Then we see Porsche. And I think with the Porsche or the Porsche, whatever you want to say, I always flip between the two. I generally say Porsche because I'm common. But like, that is just literally slapping a logo in the game. And it feels so utterly disconnected. I think, like, you know, part of me likes to think all of the guys that worked on OG Overwatch and essentially built the game, I don't think any of them have sat there and gone, this is a great idea, let's put it in the game. They would have fought tooth and nail to say, we are not having that shit in our game. Get that out of here. But of course, as we all know, Overwatch 1 had a load of problems and, you know, crazy design decisions with trying to make PvE work, and then all of the behind the scenes stuff that happened, and, you know, we end up where we are today. But it is, I don't know, it just feels like I look at Overwatch and I feel like you've got a game there, Blizzard, that is very strong off the strength of its hero designs and its core gameplay, because no one else has ever tried to come into this. I mean, okay, Concord tried recently, but they totally failed. But like, no one has ever really come into that like sphere of influence and tried to really knock them off their perch, because maybe they just don't want to. Maybe it would take too long to develop a game similar to that.
I mean, League of Legends.
Are there other games out there that players of Overwatch will go and play? Will they go and play a Deadlock? Will they go and play a Marvel Rivals? And is this just going to be a sort of death by 1,000 cuts for Overwatch? Because me as a, like, you know, I think I'm confident in saying this, but it's like one of the most die-hard fans of the game ever, right? I mean, ever. I feel so like let down with the current state of the game. I'm just like, I am becoming the dreaded apathetic. The apathy is flowing through me. I just don't care. And that's not what Blizzard want, right? I'm not saying they care about me, but what I'm trying to say is like that type of mentality, if you just end up not caring, very hard to get you to start caring again. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. In terms of Overwatch itself, I am still excited for hero launches. I am still excited to check out like when a new game mode is added. But I don't think skins are never going to be something that's going to make me rush back to play the game. It might make me open the game and look at the skin, but it's not making me go in and play tons of the game, which is, I guess, the issue, right? Maybe you guys are the same, maybe you ain't. Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, I've been Stylosa, and this has been, well, I guess, a mad rant on what's happened to Overwatch 2. All right, guys, I'll catch you lovely lot on the next video. Remember, if you did enjoy this, do subscribe to the channel. Follow me on everything, which is @Stylosa, and I really am tired. And
This has been like a big problem for a while.
Welcome to another video about a problem that is driving people absolutely insane.
Today, we're talking about fast food pricing. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You're hanging out with some friend and really craving some quick and easy food. You pull into a place like McDonald's and place a simple order. Let's say 2 Big Macs, a box of chicken nuggets, 2 large fries, and 2 drinks. You arrive at the window and the cashier looks at you and says, your total is $36. Now, some people would probably eat their meals and move on with their lives, but if you're like me, this interaction might get you thinking, how the was my total $36? Well, if this or something like this has happened to you, you are not alone. I'm here for you. Come here. Come on. Closer. We can get through this together. As a consumer, you have the right to understand why your dollar doesn't stretch as far as it used to. How did fast food, the one thing that was supposed to be affordable, become so expensive? Why did this happen? Who's to blame? What happened to the dollar menu? And what's going on with celebrity meal deals, fast food apps, and more? Let's dive in. In the late 1980s, fast food restaurants like Wendy's and Burger King introduced a groundbreaking idea that would forever change the industry: the dollar menu. Wendy's launched a super value meal with items priced at just 99 cents each. Soon after, Burger King followed with the 99-cent Great Taste menu, where you could get a Whopper for, no joke, 99 cents. The strategy was simple: give customers more for less. It allowed people to enjoy a variety of foods without breaking the bank. The concept was a hit, and by 2002, McDonald's introduced its own game-changing dollar menu, featuring items like
dollar
the
menu,
McChicken and
holy
the
shit.
McValue fries, both for just $1 each. With just a few dollars, you could eat like a king. But as the years progressed, things changed. Dollar menus became value menus. Whoppers are most definitely no longer $1, and now for a few bucks, you might be lucky if you can get a single item from a fast food restaurant. And it's not just value menu items that have seen price increases. Fast food prices overall have surged dramatically, especially in recent years. According to the Consumer Price Index, fast food prices has nearly risen 28% from 2019 to 2023. Specifically, McDonald's has increased its prices by more than 100% over the past decade, which is 3 times the rate of inflation. And it's not just a few fast food places. Popeyes, Arby's, and even Burger King have raised prices beyond the point of inflation. If you really want to see a big difference, take a look at this menu from McDonald's in 1999 and compare it to the current menu. Look at this, it's insane. We are now at the point where prices have increased
$3 for a
so
meal
much that nearly 80% of Americans say fast food is now a luxury because it's
Dude, you
so
could
expensive.
feed the whole family for
That's
15
right, a
bucks.
luxury. You heard it first here. If your significant other takes you out on a date to get fast food, that counts as a luxurious dining experience. Now sure, it's common for the prices of consumer goods to increase over time. That's how inflation works. With inflation, the cost of things like raw ingredients and transportation go up. Aside from Arizona iced teas, nearly everything eventually rises in price. But typically, these increases are gradual, nothing this drastic. So why is fast food so much more expensive past the point of inflation? Now, the obvious reason that everyone likes to point to is rising wages.
Joining me now is Fat Brand's chairman and founder and former Fatburger CEO, Andy Wiederhorn. Increasing hourly wages for fast food workers, what kind of an impact has that had on your business?
Well, someone's going to pay for it. Prices are going to go up. The wage pressure is going to drive prices up. Burgers go up by 50 cents or $1. You're going to see pizza go up. It's just expensive.
A man named Andrew Wiederhorn, a former Portland business whiz kid, now indicted in California for allegedly taking $47 million out of companies that he controlled. The indictment alleges Wiederhorn and his family used the money for their personal benefit, including private jet travel, vacations, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, other luxury automobiles, jewelry, and even a piano.
Well, someone's going to pay for it.
Many people argue that rising wages are the factor for driving up prices, but I don't think that fully paints the whole picture. For example, McDonald's workers in Denmark make more than $20 an hour, yet their Big Macs, on average, are 3 cents cheaper than in the US. So despite higher wages, their Big Macs actually cost less. If you look hard enough, you can find plenty of these examples across the world, and even in the US, where despite higher wages, prices are the same or lower. On top of all this, there have been many studies that have found that increasing the minimum wage at places like fast food restaurants or even supermarkets doesn't increase prices. The University of Washington completed a study that found despite Seattle's minimum wage hike, it didn't boost supermarket prices. So I don't really think it's fair to blame fast food price increases on rising wages. In fact, I kind of think that's a cop-out. Fast food pricing isn't limited to one variable. Multiple things have impacted pricing over the last 5 years. And I feel like I'm going crazy here because almost no one is talking about the other more significant parts of this puzzle, like companies running inefficiently, businesses blowing money on ludicrous things, and massive corporate leadership failure. For example, in 2019, Chris Kazemski became CEO of McDonald's. Unlike many of his predecessors who rose through the company ranks, Chris spent most of his career outside of McDonald's, with roles at Procter & Gamble and PepsiCo, before joining in 2015. This background is quite unconventional for McDonald's, where leadership often comes from within. Typically, McDonald's CEOs have been individuals with a strong understanding of the company's vast network of franchisees, who are essentially individual business owners running their own operations under the McDonald's brand. When Chris took over in 2019, it stirred up controversy. He implemented major changes, including large-scale corporate rebranding and store renovations, which demanded significant capital. These changes, driven by the goal of boosting profits and strengthening the company's position for shareholders, led to the rising costs we started to see then, and we continue to see today. But where is this money going? What even is McDonald's and these fast food companies investing in? What is costing companies so much that they need to increase their prices? Well, let me introduce you to advertising.
The Chief Marketing Officer of Taco Bell, Taylor Montgomery.
Live Moss Live, how we feeling? This is the finale. Live Moss Live, how are we feeling? That's more like it. Next week in every single Taco Bell, next Thursday, go get your cheesy chicken crispinata. Oh, it's for real. One more. Behold the Crunch Wrap. That is a Cheez-It inside. 16 times the size of a regular Cheez-It, I present to you the Cheez-It Crunch Wrap.
The advertising industry is a billion-dollar behemoth, and despite rising costs, companies are consistently increasing their spending in this area. Fast food is no exception. In fact, according to the reports from 2021 to 2022, fast food companies increased their social media and digital advertising budget by 75%. If these fast food giants are shelling out record sums of money, you can't tell me this has had zero effect on the consumer. And while it's true good advertising generates sales, bad advertising can hurt businesses and cut into bottom lines. And you might think, since most fast food restaurants are owned by franchisees, that they don't pay for advertising. Well, that's not really how it works. Franchisees typically contribute a portion of their sales towards corporate advertising. For example, Burger King franchisees pay 4% of their gross monthly sales for corporate advertising. McDonald's is about the same at about no more than 4%. Even Subway franchisees pay 4.5% towards corporate advertising. If advertising costs are increasing while not delivering the same expected results, prices will reflect that. Which leads me to this guy. Can we talk about how dumb fast food celebrity meal deals are? From Travis Scott to BTS to Cardi B and J Balvin, the cost of these celebrity endorsements are undoubtedly affecting the average consumer. Don't believe me? Travis Scott admitted in a Forbes 30 Under 30 that he was paid $20 million for his McDonald's special meal endorsement.
Damn.
$20 million. That's actually more than what the McDonald's CEO and chairman makes, which is $19.2 million a year. What's fascinating about these sponsored celebrity meals is this is a recent thing. McDonald's never used to do this. Before 2020, they only ever had one major celebrity combo meal, and it was back in 1992 with Michael Jordan, which was at limited locations in Chicago. But now it seems like every year they're shelling out millions to have some random celebrity combo meal that isn't even a good deal for the consumer. With all the celebrity meal deals McDonald's has done over the last 5 years, this is undoubtedly costing McDonald's millions. Now sure, that's just McDonald's. Not every fast food company is doing this, but many are. And over the last 10 years, McDonald's has had the highest increase in price out of any other fast food company. And now all of a sudden they're giving celebrities millions of dollars for these meal deals? I doubt that that's a coincidence. Chipotle, another brand we are familiar with on this channel, has been in the news for rising prices as well. And sure enough, they have also partnered up with celebrities and even content creators to promote their food with special meals over the last few years. Subway is another great example. Home of the original $5 footlong, they spend a boatload of money on celebrity endorsements. And guess what? They just called an emergency meeting as there are reports their sales are plummeting. Here's an idea. Stop paying celebrities millions of dollars and use those millions to offset the cost of your food. Yes, from a business standpoint, a good advertisement can definitely pay off. However, from a consumer standpoint, I'd much rather get my food cheaper, even slightly cheaper, than get a special sauce from Sweetie. But it's not just record high advertising increasing food prices. Another large driver is the way we order food. We have to talk about food apps. Companies are pouring millions of dollars in their food apps. Wendy's, for example, plans to invest $35 million this
they want
year
your fucking
into
data.
their
They want your
mobile and digital
blood.
menu experiences. Just this past year, Burger King allocated $250 million towards a royal reset, with an additional $150 million to enhancing Burger King's mobile app. And in theory, I think investing in technology for these food apps is a good idea. People want easier ways to order food, organize their coupons, and have cool reward point systems. However, we can't deny that it's coming at a cost. And I think this would be a fair trade if it was actually a fair trade. But is it just me, or do most of these apps blow? McDonald's, for example, says they are investing hundreds of millions of dollars in their app and digital marketing services to win back customers, announcing they're offering a $5 meal deal like the good old days. Well, guess what? If you're ordering food for you and your girlfriend, you're screwed because you can only use one coupon at a time. Go on a Friday and you want to get those free fries that they're always advertising. Sorry, you can't get the meal deal now. And just like before, it's not just McDonald's. Most food apps try to present themselves as this massive place to get food savings, but only allow you to use one coupon at a time. So you have to pick and choose your tiny amount of savings. And sure, it might be a few dollars here and there for a single person, but that adds up for families, which is why 80% of Americans now consider this a luxury. On top of all that, these built-in reward points aren't even that good. At McDonald's, every $1 you spend, you get 100 points, which means you have to spend $60 to get a free Big Mac or a free Happy Meal. At Starbucks, $1 equals 1 star, which means, no joke, you have to spend $100 to get a free drink. At Burger King, you get 10 crowns for every dollar you spend, which means you have to spend $75 to get a free Whopper. And the kicker, if you finally earn many of these rewards, you can't combine them with any other offer. So just like before, you have to pick and choose your tiny amount of savings. So we've got a counterintuitive coupon system, lousy reward point programs, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but these apps also track everything you do, and I'm gonna be honest, that kind of makes me feel uncomfortable, especially when 2018 Panera Bread
definitely makes you feel
thousands of customer records. Sorry, but I don't trust these companies at all, and I'm tired of pretending that using these apps just for a little bit of savings isn't the most inconvenient thing ever. Between this, shelling out record sums of money on advertising like celebrity meal deals, and dealing with inflation, it's no wonder they're increasing the cost of their products. But clearly, it's way past the point of, okay, this is fair for the consumer. And when corporations blame us, the average customer, or even wage increases for declined profits, it's pretty laughable. It's corporate negligence, if anything. It took me weighing 30 burritos over a month, a TikTok army, numerous news articles, and a whole social media movement just to get Chipotle to acknowledge they were skimping people out on food. I don't want to hear any brand blaming customers or consumers for their failures. If you can't provide a good and consistent product at a reasonable price point, then sorry, but I'm going to think twice about giving you my business. And clearly, I'm not alone. There are plenty of others skipping out on these businesses, and it's actually leading to change. McDonald's sales fell globally for the first time in more than 3 years last month. And as I mentioned, Subway recently had an emergency meeting about their sharp decline in sales. Interestingly, some fast food and fast casual restaurants are actually using this as an opportunity. Some companies are listening to consumer complaints and lowering their prices. Chili's, for example, reported a 15% increase in their sales thanks to their new 3 for a meal promotion, which offers customers a drink, entree, and appetizer all for just $11. The concept originated because Chili's was actually tracking social media conversations and noticed that many people were frustrated by the recent rise in fast food prices. It's amazing what happens when brands actually listen to their customers. And I don't know about you, but I think the lesson here is clear. If you have a complaint, don't be afraid to voice it. If you're noticing fast food prices are skyrocketing, consider checking out local restaurants or even cooking at home more often. A year ago, I lived in Tampa, Florida, and during that time, I didn't eat at McDonald's once. There were a few reasons for that, but primarily because there were so many good local restaurants around there that I really didn't want to eat fast food. But when I moved back to PA last fall, not gonna lie, I was craving it one day, so I pulled into McDonald's, saw their prices, and I'm not kidding, I pulled off. Many people have done the same, and sure enough, McDonald's is feeling that impact. So yes, your voice matters, no matter how small. But that's everything you need to know about this fast food pricing situation. Hopefully I was able to shine a light on everything. Of course, I'd love to know your thoughts.
This video is great.
To read all the comments down below, so please make sure to leave them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good video. Blizzard leaked hardcore fresh. See it.
Nobody at all asked for this, but actually everybody kinda did, except the haters, but they're always going to hate no matter which game mode is getting announced. And in this case, Hardcore Fresh is coming. It's confirmed. It's been leaked. Now, Soda Poppin essentially teased this by delaying OnlyFans to November.
Okay, what I said at everyone, hey guys, I know we planned on doing OnlyFans in October. However, good news and bad news. There is a very legitimate reason that we should start in November. I cannot get into details, but please trust me that this is 100% the best call for everyone. So that's what we're going to do.
Everybody had their theories, but most people correctly guessed a Hardcore Fresh. And then Sony, in Jim Bro adrenaline getting a nice pump in, leaked it afterwards.
So, like, that's a service you guys made it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a new hardcore server that comes out, and it's gonna be fresh, so it's like a fresh start.
But again, it wasn't really much of a leak. We knew this was coming. Now, it's either late October or very early November, based on OnlyFans being November 1st. Now, as I said, we knew we were getting more game modes. We've known this for a while. In an interview that I did with the devs, we learned about Classic Plus coming in the future. We know that Classic Fresh is coming because they have plans for the future of Era and Fresh players. Then we also know that we're getting TBC and Wrath of the Lich King Era servers sometime in the future. They have plans, and a lot of them. Now, time frames and timelines, that's anybody's guess. This shit could be 2029 for all we know for half of these projects, but they are coming. Warcraft Direct is late October, early November, and the devs have already teased. Blizzard as a whole has teased that we're getting way more announcements and new information in this 20th anniversary for World of Warcraft, the 30th anniversary for the Warcraft franchise, and the 5th anniversary for Classic. But if you want to know more about Warcraft Direct, watch this video right here, and you can actually watch it right after this video. But we're going to move on to the juice and meat of this video, Hardcore, and why is it so popular? Why do people love this game mode and play the same version of Classic over and over again? There's a dozen reasons why people love Hardcore, and I'm going to break them all down for you guys. It's not exactly a list of 12, even though people love lists for some reasons, but nonetheless, let's begin. So first off, we have permadeath, that allure of getting to 60 without dying. Now this point is probably the most key point, the challenge, the adventure, the thrill of surviving, of doing something that people think is pointless, hard, and frustrating, but you're doing it. And it gives you that sense of satisfaction that you just struggle to find in other versions of WoW or in other MMOs.
I agree.
Period. The need to be cautious, the need
I care so much more about my characters in hardcore WoW than I ever did any of my other ones.
To look at a mob and be like, fuck no, I'm not touching that, that's gonna kill me, or that's too risky. To just realize and understand all the key points of what makes hardcore just enticing to the player base. And tying right into that sense of satisfaction, that sense of thrill from the permadeath, is that sense of nostalgia. When you're playing Warcraft regularly, you're speed running through the questing, you're speed running through the leveling. You're trying to get to max level as fast as possible because that's where the peak PvP is, that's where the peak PvE is. Very few people actually enjoy the world for what it is. Sure, you might stop at a random vista and be like, man, the Barrens is really gorgeous, and then go back to killing 100 quill boars, dying 10 times throughout your leveling process, and just not giving a shit because your goal is 60. But in hardcore, you slow down. You actually have to be slow. You can't speed, because if you do, you will die. And death is non-recoverable. You can't just restart. I mean, you can from level 1, but that's the point of it. You actually end up reading the quests. You end up actually doing so many more quests than you would typically. Most people dungeon grind. Most people skip some low-level quests because there's no point doing them. Most people just go from zone to zone to zone as quickly as possible to get to max level as fast as possible. But you're gonna end up reading all these quests. You're gonna learn about the world. You're gonna be questing and killing mobs in random locations you didn't even know had quests or mobs to grind in. There are gonna be
what's up? Sorry, FM boy.
Very boring, yes.
And just saw your stuff.
Become one with the world. And
Been fallen for almost a year, dude. That's crazy.
Is understanding and perfecting your rotation, your class, and the world in that perfect balance. A thriving combination of skill and beauty, but nostalgia. And this is one of the most clickbait things to ever be clickbaited on YouTube. It's there for a reason. People clickbait nostalgia for a reason, because it's true, it works. People actually miss the old feelings they had. Most people will never be able to play a game like they did that first time you launched World of Warcraft back in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That list can go on. Everyone started at a different time. But you'll never get that feeling back. But hardcore is pretty close. That level of excitement, that holy shit, I gotta be careful. What the fuck is that quest? I didn't know this item could do this. Man, thank God I have this one ability that I never use typically because it saves my ass. That nostalgia is allowed to return in a way that you just haven't been able to experience in so long. And when you talk about nostalgia, you gotta talk about community. You gotta talk about those social bonds. Because in most games, yes, I know, World of Warcraft, MMO, most people don't really talk to their guildmates, they don't really hang out, their raid log, their PvP spam. Sure, you have a community, but to a degree, and this kind of sucks to say, but community is mildly dead. And yeah, that's mildly controversial. I said mildly 3 times there, and honestly, mildly, why not? But the point is, community just doesn't have the impact that it used to. But on hardcore, you kind of don't really have a choice. If you want to raid, if you want to dungeon grind, you're putting your life in another person's hand. If you're a tank, you're looking at that healer, you're cupping his cheeks or her cheeks and you're going, please, by God's mercy, make sure I live. Let the DPS die, I don't give a shit about them, but keep me alive. It's just me and you here. You have to put your life in the hands of somebody else. As a healer, you have to trust that the DPS doesn't fucking pull 2 extra packs and wipes the group. As a tank, you have to be prepared. And no other version of the game has that much trust in another person's hand. Sure, if you're raiding or PvPing to rank up or grind or get your gladiator or to get mythic raiding, you gotta trust your teammates. But even if you die, it's not a big deal. Just respawn and try again. Sure, your mythic plus might have got timed out, but nobody really cares at the end of the day. But in hardcore, catastrophic failure is over for you. It's one and done. So that community aspect is so much stronger. The people you level with, the people you do dungeons with, you form a bond with them. So many people make friends that are lifetime thanks to hardcore because, again, our Jim Bob over there, he was with me from the first RFK all the way to Stratholm, even
met his
ZG
wife
and MC.
and wow, and he
He's a
forgets
real
to tell
one.
the
But
story.
let's be honest, the real reason hardcore is so popular, and yes, controversial, but I've been controversial lately and I don't give a shit. It's streamers and content creators. Yes, I, the content creator, are telling you that. But seeing all those hardcore death clips, seeing all these people make content, struggle bust and just fail and die, seeing just Miskiff just immediately scream and Petri just to get out of a dungeon. Like, so many little things like that make the content juicy, makes it like interesting to enjoy and play. People love to watch other people. If they didn't, streaming on YouTube would not be anywhere near as popular. So having these massive streamer events, these massive community events, just having all of this energy and juiciness just makes the game and the world so much more enjoyable. I love tuning into Soda Poppin or C-Dank or Sardako, any streamer, I don't know who your favorites are, and watching them play hardcore. Seeing the energy, the vibe they bring to their group, their dynamic, whether it's in raid or in the open world or in questing, people enjoy watching these dynamics because it's fun. It's a thrill that you get to experience without actually having to put the effort in yourself. Now, I'm going to copy an EA word here. Sense of accomplishment. And I already covered this earlier on, but getting to 60, clearing MC, clearing Nax, hitting those high metric, those high milestones, it's actually kind of like it's dopamine. You're just excited. You just feel like these 180 hours I put in was worth it. And again, I've been repeating myself several times throughout this video. Worth it, mileage, whatever. I'll say what I say. The point is, it's exciting. Across the board, hardcore makes that heart beat. It makes you want to watch, want to play. Sure, most people will quit because it is the way of life. And now that we're getting hardcore fresh, it lets everybody come back on a level fucking playing field. If you've played on regular hardcore servers, there is 20 Nax running guilds. Well, it's mainly the same 5 or 6, but you get the point I'm making. People are jacked, consumables are like on the market. Everything you need is there. Even if solo self-found, you still have access to all those max level people to help you, to re-level you if you die, to give you aid and advantages where you typically wouldn't get that. And I know SSF removes a lot of those advantages, but by being on a completely fresh playing field, a completely fresh level, it drives a level of excitement that's brand new essentially. Probably even more than the very first time we did hardcore. It's going to be even bigger than that. And honestly, I'm excited. Hardcore Fresh is probably going to be one of the biggest events of the year. Probably 1 million viewers. That might be an exaggeration, but if all the big streamers come. Heck, imagine Asmon comes for hardcore. Will he make it? Debatable. But the viewership numbers are going to be insane. And people are going to love it. It's going to be watchable. It's going to be playable. It's going to be exciting. Couple that into a fresh launch of Classic right afterwards, Classic is going to skyrocket. And like I said at the beginning, Warcraft Direct is in late October, early November. They announced Hardcore Fresh into a Classic Fresh into a Classic Plus, as well as some brand new SOD content. The people are eating good today, or this year, or the next couple years. So let me know in the comments below. Why is Hardcore so exciting
SOD
for
content.
you? And are you excited? Are you gonna play Hardcore Fresh? I know haters are gonna hate, but what do you think? I wanna know, so let me know. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. If you
I think
hated
they're
it,
gonna let
be a
SOD die
dedicated
just like
fucking hater.
the
Hate
season of
everything,
Mastery
not just
died.
one video. Thank you all. Ebonheart out. Peace.
I think SOD's Dunzo. I think it might be Dunzo. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I think it's pretty Dunzo. All right. Let me move some camera stuff around. Then we'll go do some dishes and stuff for a little bit. Turn off the YouTube stream.